Hi, my name is Shannon Kiles. I've been teaching architecture for 30 years or so, and I also run an architectural website called ontarioarchitecture.com. This is an educational website that will teach people about the history of their homes and the important features of their homes. Over the last 15 years or so, I get a lot of emails from people who are interested in restoring their homes. The biggest question that I get, or the most frequent question that I get, is where do I get replacement windows? There is an argument that windows need to be replaced because they are more energy efficient. And if that were true, I'd be happy with that, but it's not true. So what I'm doing now with this video is I'm presenting some information using an infrared camera and looking at thermal mass in windows. And what I'd like to show you is that restored windows are every bit as energy efficient as the new ones. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Ron Bean, who's a local architect from Stratford, Ontario, and he's doing his master's degree, and for that he's doing research on wooden windows. How appropriate. Hi Ron, thanks for taking the time to come out today.
Well, thank you very much, Shannon.
So can you tell us what kind of research were you doing on old and replacement and wooden windows?
Well, I'm doing a study about homeowners' opinions about reasons why they may save or replace their windows. And in the city of Stratford, my survey took in about 160 homeowners of older houses, and about 80% of them responded that they had replaced some or all of their windows.
In the last 10 or 20 years?
Yes.
Was there a reason why they did that?
Well, the primary reason they stated was to save on heating costs.
Gosh. So they were told that the new windows would be more energy efficient than the old windows?
Well, I assume so.
Right. Okay, so they had the windows taken out, had the new replacement windows put in. Did they give any sort of opinion on whether they would have preferred to keep the old windows, or were they happy to have them, you know, update the look of the house?
Well, one of the interesting things you'll find is that there was one question that basically said, what would be your preference if your old windows had the same energy performance or similar energy performance as a new replacement window, what would you prefer to do? And the majority said they would like to keep their old windows.
Oh, right. So they bought the old home because they like the look of it. The old windows are part of the character, but they felt that because of our cold winters, it's 2014, that perhaps it's a good idea to have them taken out. Okay, great. Well, I can understand why they would do that if it was true that they were more energy efficient, and we're just going to get some data on maybe it's not. We're going to take a look at first a restored window, actually it's a 220-year-old window that I restored myself that has a storm window on it, and a brand new window that was installed 3 years ago, and when they were installed it took a couple of hours to get rid of all the stuff saying enter, save, and passes all this testing and all. So they have the stickers that you get when you get the new windows. Took them all off. Let's see if they're as good as the restored window. Okay, so we have a 12-pane sash window, and the average reading on the inside of the window is about 5-6 degrees. We're looking at an average of 5 or 6 degrees. We're using an infrared camera. When you look at the camera, the yellower parts are where it's a bit warmer, and the bluer parts is where it's getting really quite cold. So I'm going down to the bluest part of the window, and this is 1 degree right at that corner. Again, it's minus 20 outside. A curtain would help. Minus 20 degrees outside. 50 km/h winds going straight at that window, and it's still average of, well, there's 6. Between 5 and 7, and the corner, the smallest, is about 1 degree. So that is a restored 12-pane sash window, and you can see the bubble glass. We'll take a look at the bubble glass later. And it's a restored window from a Georgian house from 1780. Okay, and you can see that the casing in the frame of the window is fine. There's nothing coming through the casing at all. So the casing is where the window gets attached to the wall, and the frame is the decorative member on top of it. And there's no heat loss at all. There's no huge piles of air coming through there. On the same wall, same time of day, same minus 20 degrees outside, we're looking at this window. It's brand new. The average temperature is again 4 to 5 degrees. So it's the same brand new window, same temperature overall on the window, but then we get to the dark blue spots, minus 0.8, minus 1, minus 3 degrees. We got minus 2. Anybody for minus 4? Here we go, minus 3. This is leaking air like a son of a gun. Look at that, the thermal, minus 3 degrees in that corner. And the other one was minus 0.7. And that's the full length is minus 1, minus 0.9. So between minus 1 and minus 3, there's minus 4. I love it, minus 4, perfect. Okay, the top is the same. It's obviously going to be a little bit warmer because the heat goes up, but we're looking at leakage all around the outside of that window. So we can conclude that the window that is new, brand new from Toronto, with all the stickers saying that it's up to code, it's doing everything it's meant to do by law. Oh, minus 5, love it. Minus 5 degrees, let's cover that up. Did not perform as well as the restored 220-year-old window. So the restored window did fare better. Temperature's better, thermal mass is better.
We're talking now with Andrew Skuse of Paradigm Shift Customs, and I have a couple of questions to ask him. The first one, am I right in thinking that the cost of replacing a window is about the same as restoring a window?
In some instances, yes. It depends on how cool of a window that you already have. If you have, say, a 12 over 12 sash set, that obviously is going to be more physical work, got physically more inches of space to deal with. Now, we just dealt with a client here in Brantford, and we actually were against another vinyl window company that was bidding on the job as well. For our restoration, we were actually $400 less every single window in the house than replacement.
And those windows would last for 100 years, and the vinyl will last for 15 years.
Yes.
So in 15 years' time, that cost will be...
Yes, it's much better for a straight-up accounting perspective. Restoration, you will invest far less into a building doing restoration than you would be doing gross replacement, say, every 10 years.
Well, is there anything else that you could think of why you would restore as opposed to renovate?
In that respect, I would say replacement windows, a lot of times they are designed to meet a certain price point. Now, that being said, you do get on that hamster wheel, if you will, of replacement. The other part that isn't good about a lot of the vinyl windows is that they aren't stable in ultraviolet light. They react with sunlight and start off-gassing. There have been some cases of vinyl windows of certain qualities shrinking up to 10% by being exposed to the environment that they're in, which I find kind of ironic considering they're not stable in ultraviolet light.
There's more than one company that either restores or reproduces heritage windows, and now I'd like to introduce you to Alan Stacey, who runs Heritage Mill in Ancaster, Ontario.
So I do sometimes wonder when people do decide to have their windows changed over, that like I say, they sign the contract and the people come in and they go to work as normal in the morning and come back and see their new windows installed. Generally it happens in a day, it's pretty quick work. And I just wonder how many people do actually return home and look at the house and realize that they've probably made a mistake, that they've lost something fundamental about the house. They've certainly lost the three-dimensionalness of a heritage window.
We have shown, I hope, with this video that restored windows are just as energy efficient as new ones. If you have a restored window, it will last probably longer than a new replacement window, and that with the restored window, there are no volatile organic compounds or any other chemicals that are going to be leached into your environment. If you keep the older window, restore it, maintain the integrity of the design of your home, why would you do that rather than getting a new window that does none of the above?